I have been diagnosed with so much. I'm just like, what am I? Just like, tell me. I'm like, I'm anxious. I'm depressed. I'm like
Before LA or always?
Oh God, for years.
Really?
Before LA
helped or exacerbated it. That's the right word, right?
Yeah, that's a good word. Exacerbate. I think it's
I
like
don't think you said it right, but
said it with confidence, so I feel like
Okay.
it, you know,
Exacerbate.
exacerbate.
That sounds like something
Sounds
else.
like something
Yeah,
I
it
was
sounds like
thinking. I was
something
like,
else.
yeah.
So what?
as a girl, your relationship with your dad usually is like.
I think that's a pretty common thing. Like
daddy
daddy issue. Like that's a pretty that's like the most common.
The most
issue.
common, right? Totally. For the record, when guys take steroids and they're like that, like beefy, like I personally, gross. Like, of course, I love a little muscle, but I'm like,
it's weird. I see it.
You're listening to Joey Joy Radio.
Hey, Joey.
What's going on, player?
Dude, we're in LA, right?
We are.
We're in like the whitest part of LA. We're in like Beverly Hills right now. So we've been cruising around in like a nice car, nice weather, smoking a little doobie here and there. But I've been really embracing my inner white chick here in LA just because it's a lot of fun. Spending daddy's money, love it, right? I even got myself one of these Stanley tumblers.
What's it say on the bottom?
I don't know.
Slim?
Yeah. Slim?
SM.
SM. I don't know. I don't know.
Like we're out of the loop. That's why you don't steal people's Stanleys and talk about it, because we don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Oh, that's true. You know what? You got me. This is not actually my Stanley tumbler. This is our guest Stanley tumbler. She embraces her inner white.
Yes, she
does.
I
think that's a big part of her.
Her inner and outer.
Her inner and outer. Yeah. Let me give this back to you.
Thank you so much. It's white. It matches my skin, so it's perfect.
Right.
My inner and outer
leads us to our guest, Syd Smith.
Were you on the trend before that, or are you a new Stanleyer?
Oh, I'm such a new Stanleyer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The reason why I got it, I had so many water bottles, and like they were not basic. They're just like, I don't even know what brand they were, but this one is the cup holder. Like it fits in your cup holder. My other one didn't. And I spent like stupid money on my other one too. And I was like, oh, this one's so good. And it didn't even fit in my car. So I was like, I'm doing it. I saw it at Target. I was like, fuck it.
Do it.
I've seen everyone get those. Like little kids want them. Like everyone wants a Stanley.
Yeah.
Did you ever do any videos with it? Like any content with it?
No, and I should, because I should get another. I should get one for free.
Yeah.
I spent good money on that.
It.
I think it's like hydration, power walking,
How
hydration.
much are Stanley tumblers now?
I mean, I think that one was like.
That's what it's called, a Stanley.
Okay,
tumbler?
you said slim. I thought that it was called Slim.
Yeah.
You knew that it was Stanley. What's the M?
Honestly, I just took a guess. I saw the shape, and you're a white lady, so I kind of just put two and two together.
Yeah.
I was like, this has to be a Stanley tumbler.
Oh well.
Wait, what is a Stanley tumbler? I never heard of that.
It's like the name of the brand, I guess.
Oh, it's Stanley tumbler. It's not Stanley's, just abbreviated.
Guys, I don't know. I should know. I'm so white. I should know.
You're just gonna walk.
I should know this.
So we don't know what the M stands for.
But I literally thought it was Slim. I said it to someone.
That's what I said too.
And when you said that, I was like, okay, I'm not the only one, because I brought it into.
It makes sense because it gets slim at the bottom.
Yeah, and it's just like the look of it. It's like modern, sexy.
We'll keep that on
water.
there.
All right, it's a fucking cup.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I think you'd be good.
It's just holding
You'd be
liquid.
good. You'd be good at do. Like, I feel like you're kind of like, a lot of your content is like holding some type of drink, like spewing about some shit.
Yeah.
And I was excited. This is the first time we met in person, so nice to meet you.
It's so nice to meet you.
I was excited to meet you in person because your personality and persona in your videos is like animated and like cartoonish, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I was trying to think, like, we talked, like, all I like messaged like 3 times on Instagram, like I don't know you that well, but I was like, I need to see if this is her or if she's turning it on like most of the time.
Well, I appreciate that. I feel like I turn it on a bit. It depends on my mood. I move my face a lot regardless, you know? That's why we get Botox, okay? Basic, white, a little bit. I didn't want to get too much, just a little.
No, I couldn't tell.
Oh.
Not that I'm a pro or anything.
No, it's, you guys have nice skin. You guys
Thank
have
you.
nice
In
skin.
Florida, it's humid. You know what I mean?
Miami.
The moisture
It's humid.
keeps your
get
skin,
that.
you know what I mean?
I get that. I mean, I came from upstate New York, humidity. So my hair was always like out to here. It's freezing here and it's like 50s, 60 degrees,
Yeah.
but I think it's freezing.
Yeah, I'm freezing. Feel my hands are.
I'm like clammy. I get like
he's been yelling at me. Look at his face.
Dude, we've been fighting all week just over the temperature because I like it cold and we sleep in the house and like I keep it cold and he's like, bro, it's
I need it cold when I sleep.
Yeah,
I
well,
do
cold
need
when
it
you
cold.
sleep is different, but like sitting inside, like
oh yeah,
I don't want to have to put layers on and shit. Like sitting here,
Oh,
we
God,
did.
no.
I did an episode yesterday, and I'm sitting here the whole time. Like
You're like,
I'm like holding, like yeah. So like, what do we? I'm like trying to keep my hands warm. And
studios
shit.
are always cold though.
they are, but that's a thing.
Yeah, no, it is.
The lights
because
get
of the
hot.
lighting gets hot, but
Because then you
also
don't want to
like,
get like oily and stuff and sweat.
yeah,
I don't know.
but also too like talent, you know, like there's nerves and people people sweat and get hot.
They're
and,
already hot and sweaty.
Doesn't make sense either. He's the Florida guy. Like he's from
Oh, you're
Florida,
from Florida,
and he
too.
wants it freezing cold in here.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I moved to Florida to never see that shit
well,
again.
because both of our families are from Pittsburgh, and
Pittsburgh, yeah.
Pittsburgh?
I'm born and raised Pittsburgh, yeah.
And
Hey,
so you know
East
they grew
Coast.
up in like the cold.
Yeah.
And I don't know, my dad is like a big. Our dads are similar, like they're big, kind of burly guys, but
Yeah.
like built. So like they have hot blood. Does your dad have hot blood?
Yeah, he doesn't get that cold, but he doesn't like when I was younger, I remember my dad like not caring about the weather. And
Yeah.
like now he's like 52 or something right now. And
Yeah.
he's like, I'm over this bullshit. Like I'm going to Florida ASAP. Like he's so over the cold.
Yeah.
And it tricks you kind of because the sun, I mean, you can probably relate to like in New York, upstate. Where exactly in upstate?
Rochester.
Okay. I've been to
Rochester.
Rochester, New York.
Rochester.
Pretty much like upstate New York and like middle Pennsylvania is like the same exact
Yeah.
thing. It's like looks the same, like same
Same
type of vibe, small towns, whatever.
Yeah.
No, but the Pittsburgh weather and shit is like unbearable.
It's
Miserable.
depressing.
Like the summer will
miserable.
trick you. Your summer is
Literally.
probably beautiful.
Love the summer.
3 months and then
It's
Shit.
it switches quick too. Like
so quick. The fall is honestly. So my birthday's in October, so I've always loved the fall. And like in upstate, it's so pretty. It's like the leaves are changing, and it's like it's kind of like right now here is like fall weather. there.
Don't white
But it
women
was
always
nice.
love
I know,
fall
the
weather
fall- I know.
with
I'm
the
so-
pumpkin
I'm-
spice lattes and their
Literally.
we're on the
I am
white girl
worst.
theme today.
I'm so white.
love
and
it.
So girly and so basic. I love it.
Embrace it.
I mean, I am just.
Wait, so you have
I'm
to tell
here,
so
yeah.
you have to tell me when you're making content like that like person comes out like that's like
Yeah.
because you see it's like consistent. It's like it's like the same character. Like almost you should switch the name. Like now that I've been
know.
sitting, like you're obviously animated and you're an entertainer
Yeah.
now, but like videos like extra. You know what I mean?
Extra. I'd
Yeah.
say I definitely like amp it up a bit.
It's entertainment. You
It's
should. You can't
entertainment.
just
You
be
have
yourself.
to. I mean, I grew up doing theater, like
Okay.
on stage stuff. I never really like singing and dancing. I like to act.
Yeah.
But I did like musical theater because that's what like was more
Mm-hmm.
fun in high school. And so I did that. But I was always like the comedic part, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
So for the most part. And I loved it. But I was like, I really want to do like on screen
Mm-hmm.
stuff more. I don't want to like go to school for like
Yeah,
theater,
yeah,
you know,
Jazz
like I
hands.
was like jazz hands. I was
Yeah.
like, this is cool, but like, let's be on TV.
Yeah.
Or like a screen, you know. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did like short films and let me back up.
We saw a couple clips.
We did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we saw some stuff. We saw
You
some
saw
good
some stuff? Yeah?
we
Where are you
did.
backing up to the commercials?
Well, yeah. There's that wink. There's the wink. Yeah, commercial. So I grew up in front of a camera, I should say, like at the age of like 3. Do you know Wegmans? You guys know Wegmans, right?
Oh yeah,
God, I miss it. The
Wait,
grocery
yeah,
store.
yeah.
No, I don't know that.
bro, Pennsylvania. What?
What? Do they not have one in
Wegmans.
I don't know
Pittsburgh?
if they have one. I know they have one
Wegmans?
in like Erie.
color
I've
is
been
it?
to Erie. Wegmans.
Like what color is this?
Red.
Is it like a red,
Yeah.
auburny color?
Auburny color. Usually it's like a brick building. The logo is red. Wegmans. It's like in
Wegmans.
cursive. You never seen it?
My dad, his advertising company, that's like their biggest client right now.
Mm-hmm. a
is
good
They've
client.
been doing them for years,
Yeah.
and clearly for years. Because when I was 3, I was in a Wegmans commercial for like looking up at like Santa coming for the winter. Like it was like that was like my first big break.
Can you show
That's
us that
sick.
later? Like, do you
Wait,
have
how old
that?
are you?
Yeah, I
What'd
can
you say?
find it. I'll find
Nice.
it. Yeah,
How
yeah.
old are you?
3?
3 years old.
Yeah.
Quick-
One take wonder 2.
Quick break. Like
Yeah,
quick
they were
big
like,
break. That
just
was your
throw
big
her
break.
in.
3
This is my
years
big
on the
break.
earth.
Yeah. They were like, this is it. This is what she's
Was
meant
it
to
all
do.
up from there?
It was all in the face too. I did not speak one word.
Oh, it was no,
so it was
no
all in the
lines?
face.
Right.
It was just like, I'll find the clip. I'll find the clip.
Thank you. We
Yeah.
got to see that. When did you move to LA from New York?
2021.
Okay.
Yeah. So originally, I had been in New York my whole life, and I like to say I'm from
I
New
thought
York
you lived here
because
for longer than that. That's
everyone
crazy.
says that. Everyone says that. I
Seem
don't.
like
I think I
Valley
give
girl
off
or
that like
something.
literally. It's
That's
like
part of your character.
yeah, it's part of the character.
Yeah.
It's part of that basic white.
If you don't be careful, your character and your you're just gonna
I'm
merge
gonna
and
start
become one
becoming
person.
confused as to who
Yeah,
I
yeah,
am.
yeah.
I am a little confused. I
All
don't
good
really
actors
know.
do though. They get
Yeah.
confused at
Yeah.
some point.
They do. They do.
If you want to be a serious actor, you need mental problems, and
Oh
you got
my
to be
God.
confused about your identity.
Who is that?
when you start identifying
me
with
in
your
a nutshell.
characters?
What's the actor's name that just played Elvis?
Oh my God, Miles.
Austin Butler.
I was gonna
Butler.
say Miles Teller, but that
Miles
didn't sound
Teller,
right.
I was like, that's not
Austin
him.
Butler. Have you seen
He's
any?
so hot.
And he's a stud.
He's a stud.
He's a stud.
He killed
Crazy,
that
though.
role.
So have you seen any of his recent interviews? Like
No.
that movie's been out for a while now, like
Yeah,
over a
I'm
year.
He starts talking like
He's still doing it.
talking like
Okay.
Still doing it.
That is the thing. He became so.
He's
he
Elvis
was
now.
so into that character.
He's
He
Elvis. He
literally
killed it.
Elvis.
Sick movie. I don't know if you watched it.
I
Sick
did.
movie.
I did.
But I watched an interview that maybe a red carpet like last week,
Oh my God.
and he's like, "Hey,"
People, like,
and
make
I'm like,
fun of him.
and I'm like trying to think, like, is this? That's not what he sounded like before,
Yeah, it's
right?
like this isn't Austin. This is
No, they did
Yeah.
before and afters, and it was like, whoa,
No,
what
it's
happened,
crazy.
dude?
So that's you. You're
I know.
you're almost there. You're almost
I'm
there.
like basically Elvis, but in my own way. Yeah. No, so like, what was I saying though? Oh my God, my ADD is so bad.
Oh,
you
join-
guys have
join the
ADD?
club. Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
big
join the
time.
club.
It's like I took Adderall today, but like for what?
Oh, again,
Yeah.
join the club.
Yeah.
Yeah, us too.
Every damn day.
Yeah.
Gotta, or else I'm
Every
like,
day.
We've
Wait,
been
you take
shooting.
Adderall
We've been
every
shooting
day?
a lot, so
Are you prescribed it?
I'm prescribed it.
Okay, I don't know if I could do that every day.
I shouldn't. Okay, not on weekends. Not on weekends, unless it's like
So just during the work week.
needing it for some reason. But
what's
my
your
body's so
like
used
what's your
to
milligram or what's your dosage?
it. I've played around with it a little bit.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to. So, well, I have instant release. So originally, I was originally when I first got prescribed. I like kind of pushed to get prescribed.
Yeah, I mean it's not hard, right?
I mean,
Like,
I've had ADHD for like ever. I'm sure. Like my dad has it really bad, but he was never like it runs in the family.
never like
I feel
diagnosed.
like everyone kind of has.
Yeah.
it, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
But
It's like I feel like people have always kind of had some type of
Yeah.
attention thing, but it's like really, really diagnosed. Like
if you
they
really-
wanted to put
yeah.
me on it when I was like in kindergarten, like 5 years old,
Oh,
and
wow,
my
no.
parents were like, "Nah, like he's not." Like I couldn't sit still and shit, but like I was a 5-year-old boy. Like what do you
Yeah.
mean? Like I like. What?
I mean,
Let's
that's like
just
typical.
drug 'em
though.
with
Like
Ritalin and-
everyone,
yeah, like-
yeah. I feel like that's so young.
I was glad my parents were like, "Nah, he's all right. Like,
Yeah.
he's all right."
Yeah, I feel like that's so young. I mean, again, I was literally just. Do you guys know who? There's a fly.
Yeah, yeah.
It's on
Oh!
your hand. It's on your hand. Yep. Yep. That is
Wow.
talent. That,
Here,
that
just put,
was-
oh yeah, I'll take gum, but I.
Yeah, you took my chewed gum, but not the dead little fruit fly.
All right.
What was I saying?
I don't
See,
know.
there we go again.
Yeah, ADHD.
I'm just like,
yeah,
fly,
Yeah,
squirrel.
you were like fly.
Yeah, where was I? Oh, yeah, ADD.
ADD.
It was
Adderall?
like Adderall. I took it like in college. I remember, like obviously everyone's like, "Oh, let me get some of your Adderall," and I loved it. I was like, "Oh my God, I feel normal. I feel happy. I'm like, I'm on top of the world."
You were diagnosed. I mean, not diagnosed.
But-
you were prescribed in
Not
college.
there was like 1 year in college. I think it was like sophomore year, and I was like, please, I have been diagnosed with so much. I'm just like, what am I? Just like, tell me. I'm like, I'm anxious. I'm depressed. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like, I mean, we all
Before
are.
LA or always?
Oh God, for years. Before
Really?
LA.
Helped or exacerbated it? That's the right word, right?
Yeah, that's a good word. Exacerbate. I think it's
I don't
like
think you said it right, but
Exacerbate.
it sounded he had said it with confidence, so I feel like
Okay.
it, you know,
Exacerbate.
exacerbate.
No, it's-
That sounds like something
sounds like
else.
something
Yeah,
I
it
was
sounds like
thinking. I was
something
like,
else.
"Nah."
yeah.
So what do you think LA major
Oh, it made it worse.
diagnosis?
It made it worse in some ways. I mean, social media is toxic. We all know that.
Yeah.
It's toxic.
Even
it's
though we all
addicting.
profit off of it,
We
like,
do. We do. I think that when I first moved here, I really my whole goal was I said this like 20 minutes ago, and then of course we started talking about other things. But
We're gonna do that the whole time. I have
the
a
whole
problem
time.
like that.
Oh no, it's me all the time, all the time. But I originally wanted to leave Rochester because if I didn't leave,
No, you gotta get the fuck out.
I got to get the fuck out.
You left kind of late then.
I left late.
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
like, I'm
that's
getting
late.
sucked in. So I wanted to move to LA. I was between New York and LA because I wanted to act. That's like what I really wanted to do. It wasn't
Yeah.
even like, so I had done like, you know, like I loved Instagram. I've always been addicted to my phone. Okay. So like even back in Rochester, like it's a pretty small town. So like I had done some stuff. Like I didn't have like a huge following, but like everyone knows everyone type of a thing.
Yeah.
And like people are like, oh, like I follow you on Instagram. Like you're funny or
yeah.
like whatever.
If you're from a small town like
Right?
that, everyone knows.
They're like, oh,
like,
you know so and so who knows so and so, so therefore we're friends. You know, like that kind of thing. but I always love to create. I've always been a creative person. That's made me happy. I always like, I want to act. I want to be in movies. I want to be in TV shows, but it's like, all right, you got to work for it. You can't just, you know, it's also like a dog eat dog world out there. But like
out here, especially
out here, Jesus Christ, it's rough. Talk about mental health. Hello. But
we can get into that later.
Yeah, for sure. I'm an open book. So, but except for my age. Yeah. I have. That's like the one thing that I'm like, it's still.
Nah, keep it. Write it out.
I gotta write it out. I've made it this far.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to move here to pursue acting, and at first I had graduated college with like a marketing degree, so I had like, love that. So I did have
useless.
Yeah,
useless. Exactly. I always talk about it.
No, I was like communications. That was like my people like that's not. Actually, and I was like, it's easy and I can have fun and it's what I like to do.
And you leave with a piece of paper that says you graduated college.
Yeah, I have a degree, so I can do a lot of different things. So I did like a few marketing jobs, and then I was like, I am not fulfilled in the slightest. All right, like if I don't leave now, I never will, and I will regret it because it's like it's so easy to get caught up in like your hometown. My family's there, you know. My sister ended up moving to LA.
It's like. You're comfortable when you get complacent, and that's like a scary spot to be in almost. Like you're like comfortable and not like furthering it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like go fuck up, go fail a little bit. Like
that's the thing is like I think I've always had a fear of rejection. I've always
I think
had
we all do a little bit.
We all do. But it's all about like, but do you want to take the chance? You know? So that was my biggest, I'd say like success is like actually getting myself to move here.
Yeah, I mean, that's the hardest part.
The country, honestly, like it's hard. It did help having my sister out here. She ended up moving out here because her boyfriend was at UCLA at the time, and so she was like, it was 2020. Yeah. So I visited her in 2020, and I was thinking New York City because I was like, oh, I can take a train, and that way it's like I'm kind of close to home. This might have been
one of the worst places to live.
Oh my god, I would. What the fuck was I thinking? Oh, also we can swear on here, right? It just kind of comes out.
Bitch, shit, ass, balls.
Shit, ass,
fucking motherfucking bitch ass hoe.
Bitch ass hoe.
Bitch ass hoe.
Good.
That was so like probably bitch ass hoe.
ASMR.
Bitch ass hoe.
Have you ever done stand up?
I've not, and people tell me that I should do it.
I
myself.
was under the assumption that you like do stand up often.
No way.
Like okay, not that I saw you do stand up, just the type of content
assumed?
You make and like how like your humor, like you make all funny. Like not many videos are like serious, like right?
Yeah, very rarely.
Yeah, so
very
like
rarely.
You're a comedian, right? You would
I would.
So
say,
so I assumed stand up, and I was gonna say like you just said you would shit yourself, like. I think that might be like one of the hardest things in entertainment to do. Like,
oh my God. It's an art.
Yeah.
It's an art. I mean, it kind of like, I think having a background in acting and like on stage acting, like you're not really like with stand up, you are in the moment. You can't be like, oh, can we redo that?
No,
like
live.
That's the beauty of a camera. It's not live for the most part. You know, you can go back, edit, redo something, memorize a line, fuck it up. That's okay. That is all right there happening. So you have to be in the zone. You also have to like feed off the audience, you know, because it's like.
That's the best content when they start getting into it and they like on the spur. If you can be witty like that, those are the guys.
Yes.
But I will say, I think that's easier than a routine. Do you know what I mean?
Easier than like memorizing?
Like tell me if you agree with this, because I think you're this type of person. Like I find it like when I find myself often in a group of people, whatever, friends, random people, like I can get people to laugh in conversation easy, like light, just like bouncing off what people are saying, remembering, like just like conversational things you learn. Like if someone was like, Joey, stand up in front of us, go, make us laugh. Like that's like, all right, like not like, you know what I mean? Like that's great. Like because making someone's laugh when they already think you're funny, like, all right, make like, oh my God, you're so funny. Like, you're like
you feel like you have that expectation then to be fun when you're in the moment and you're not thinking about it. That's when it's funny. But that's what's hard with content is like I overthink everything. And you know, like you don't get a lot of likes on this or you lose followers or whatever. It gets to your head. So you're like, what do I need to do? What do I need to do to make this better? But then you kind of lose sight of what you really want to do. And so that's what I told myself, like 2024. I am going to do what I actually want to do. I mean, I've always been a people pleaser. So like for me, I'm like, oh, like this isn't, it's so draining. It sucks. And
I am too. I'm a people pleaser. I feel like obligated a lot of the time when I'm in a space to like, you know, I'm like constantly making sure like, I don't know.
Are you
like,
okay? Are you, if you're happy, I'm happy.
Yeah, like not like, oh, like if I see someone having like an awkward conversation, like insert myself, like, you know what I mean? Like I can't watch the ship go down. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, all right, someone says someone awkward, you're like,
I know.
I feel like the obligation to be that barrier all the time.
Especially when you've like made that reputation for yourself. So then it's like, oh, people expect that from me. I gotta be there. Or like you're like the entertainment for the night. Like, oh, it's like, you know,
you're like a good anchor.
Yeah.
Right, you know, anchor for whatever the situation is.
Right. So it's a lot. I mean, it's like, okay, your friends don't actually think that they need you to be like that 24/7, but you do.
Yeah. It's like no one else is really like, it's more like that secondhand. It's almost like secondhand embarrassment, but like I want to make sure everyone's having a good time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's rough. Secondhand embarrassment's rough. I'm bad at that. Like watching someone crash and burn on stage or something. I'm like,
oh my God, my face.
Like almost worse than if I crash and burn on stage. Like watching someone else do it, you're like,
yeah. Cause like I can make fun of myself, but like I've been like, speaking of stand up, seeing some people just murder, not in a good way, like that makes it seem like they did good, like just do really bad, like bomb. They bombed it. Murder,
they killed
bomb.
it.
They killed it.
God killed it.
No, they bombed it, and like people are just like it's silent.
It
hurt, and I'm like I find myself like in the corner, like, oh God. And then I'm like, okay, it's not my problem. But I'm making it my problem.
It's like, it's like weighing on you.
Yeah,
You're
I'm like,
why would they put themselves up there? Like, what are they?
Yeah, and I'm like, just leave.
They're reading your face. You're doing your facial expressions in the background. I
have no
Kill
poker
Tony.
face.
Do you ever watch Kill Tony?
No, what's Kill Tony?
It's one of Joe Rogan's show.
I know Joe Rogan.
It's at Joe Rogan's stand up in Austin, and basically like 3 established comedians sit like just like we are now, and they'll bring up a newbie, and they'll do a couple jokes and whatever, and they'll just fucking shit on them.
See, that's
and it hurts. You're like, oh, my heart. Like
someone like has a dream of being a comedian.
Yeah.
They're like
no, I feel bad.
Them.
Like I genuinely feel.
They know
bad.
what they're signing up for, though. Like,
you have to have thick skin. See, like my skin's gotten thicker since moving to LA, but like
that's good.
It's but I'm still like a sensitive. I'm sensitive.
I'm pretty good. I don't know. I'm pretty good. I feel
like you can
just. It kind of rolls off. Like I don't know. You get a lot of weird like hate comments and shit. It kind of.
Oh my God, the hate comments.
Yeah.
But you have to. That when I first started this is the thing though.
Did you read the comments? Did you make the mistake?
Oh God, I made the mistake. Now I'm just like avoid. I can't read comments now.
I'll reply to them like I don't even notice what they were saying. So like I'll like all the comments like
thanks for the
part of the
support.
job. Like I try to reply to like everyone that comments on it because you know it's good for your posts and stuff, get things going. So like reply to all this stuff like just emojis, hearts, fire emoji, whatever, just like people that are commenting. And then I'll see a hate comment like I don't know anything like, oh, this fucking loser thinks he's cool, and I'll just like clap and do fire like I did to everybody. Yeah, and reply to them, and then they're probably looking at it like, what? Like, I feel like that's the best way to do it.
100%. It's either like you just straight up ignore them because they want attention. They're insecure. They obviously are like alone in their mother's basement
Keyboard
on the computer.
warriors.
Just like,
took some time to like.
Yeah, like they just are jealous. And like, I forget who said this, but someone was like, the minute that I heard this like 2 years ago and I will never forget it. They're like, once you have haters, you know you made it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, people are going to hate you. And that's fine. Like that has nothing to do with you. It's all about them. But it's like you clearly have something that they're either jealous of or like or if they genuinely just don't like you, it's like, well, you're seeing me and I'm exposed and I'm out there.
No one's gonna spend no one's gonna spend their time like hating on someone that no one knows. Like, you know what I mean? You did something that impacted somebody to get someone you don't even know to interact with your stuff.
Take the time to engage. So
I'm not a hater on anybody who does it, but I think you don't do OnlyFans, right?
I do not.
I think that's pretty.
Look at that. What do we call that in LA? A unicorn.
Everyone does. Is that what is that?
No, I'm just saying a rare.
You see a girl in LA, like if they have a following or whatever.
Not even girl, guy in LA.
Guys.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
Do you have an OnlyFans?
I do.
But like majority of people do. And I did consider it at one point, but like, see, I am so.
It's not really your brand.
It's just not my
You're
brand.
not like a
it's
sexual, like,
nah. It's funny because I think when I first started the whole TikTok, like mommy character thing, it was like comedic where it would be like a sexual like joke, but it was all a joke. So I'd be like, oh, like, but it's all like kidding. You know, I've always been like that. I'm not like a super like in your face. I don't have an ass or tits to show off anyway. So it's like, that's just sad. Like, don't show. We don't want to see that.
You also notice people that are like consuming your content or people that consume content in general.
Yes.
have a hard time seeing the difference between sarcasm and like, you know what I mean? Like there is no, like I'll watch a video and be like, this is so fake and set up. And you look at the comments, thousands of people are, that's not like, but what are you? And you're like,
I'm like,
you're
you
really getting
serious?
fired up. I can clearly see this person's trying to get you to do that. Like, how is there that many people out there that can't
so
like
sad.
see shit?
And that's what I think that is where a lot of my hate comes from, because I'm a sarcastic person.
Yeah.
I've always been like dry humor. Like I love that. Also an art form. And my mom is like really dry humor. My dad's, I feel like I'm a mix of my parents, because my dad's a goofball. Like he's just like weird and I'm weird. And then my mom's like dry, like says it. And then it's like, oh, that's funny. You know, like
do
she
they like your
gets
content?
it. Yeah,
Like,
no, they're
do
very
they-
supportive of
do
it.
they?
They're proud of me for doing what I'm
Do
doing.
what you want to do.
Yeah, and they're like, you could do more.
Yeah.
Like they're the ones that I've lucked out with having a supportive family, because I know a lot of people that don't. I
Yeah.
know people that are like, they wouldn't want them to do
Yeah.
that, or they're controlling or whatever.
I'm so glad I have parents that
You
are
have
just
supportive
like,
family.
you know what? If you're
Yeah.
working at something and you're not doing drugs and getting in
Yeah.
trouble, like,
good for you, and
do
you're
it.
happy,
Do it. Like,
right? Yeah.
That's all that matters.
That's always what they've said. They're like, we want you to do what makes you happy, and if you're happy, we're happy. Like, but yeah, like don't
yeah.
get hurt out there.
Shout out to all the supportive parents out there.
Right?
Eric, Dina, love
We
you.
love that. Greg and Sherry, love you guys.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Kind of take a little turn. You like since being kind of a social media comedian,
Yeah.
like you've been around other comedians and like
Yeah.
other whatever
Oh,
social
yeah.
comedic figures.
Mhm.
Do you? Because I think a common theme a lot of times when you sit down with comedians and stuff, it's almost like 9 times out of 10, like comedians will be like I'm not this person that I'm putting out. Like they're not even like they're not laughing inside. You know what I mean? They're like making everybody laugh, kind of. And
Yes.
it's like
Robin Williams.
I was just gonna say.
you could probably name
Prime
a
example.
bunch.
Robin
You could probably
Williams.
name a
Pete
bunch of people.
Davidson.
Yeah.
Pete Davidson is the saddest.
He's pretty
guy.
like vocal about like
Like,
he's one of those like I'm depressed. Like
Yeah.
that's part of
It's
his
like his
part of his
image.
routine is like, well, I'm just a depressed
Yeah,
like
I'm
I look
emo.
sickly like
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't really like that self like
Deprecating.
It's like
deprecate.
it's like,
I don't
dude,
like that really.
It's sad. No, I agree, because it's, and I can fully admit I was obsessed with Pete Davidson.
Yeah.
And then
like you
like
and
most girls,
you and everybody. Yeah.
most white basic girls.
Sure.
I mean, Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
Come on.
Ariana Grande.
Everybody.
Ariana Grande. Yeah.
Kim Kardashian is not even white,
I know.
but
she's
but
but
She is
not her being
quasi-white.
white, but she
Kim Kardashian's a
dated
white
him,
girl.
which
What?
is
Kim-
crazy. That's still I'm
Kim
just like, is this
Kardashian's a
real?
white girl.
She's
Like, what are you
still
talking
pretty
about?
white.
Yeah.
She's still pretty
Yeah,
white.
yeah.
Whatever she is.
she probably has a Stanley tumbler.
Yeah, she probably has a
Probably
couple.
like 20. Yeah, she's got a few.
They probably send one to her door every day.
yeah, one for each
Just
like
begging for her to
couple.
open one and post it.
Just post it. We'll give you 20 more,
Yeah.
please. We're begging you. God, that would be nice.
But so yeah, go back to that. You like
Yeah, no, I agree with you though. I think at first I was like, oh, like that's so hot. Like he's so like vulnerable and he's like tell it like and it's like, wait, he's always depressed.
Mm-hmm,
like that's not that hot. Like it's sad, obviously, but it's like it's like I don't know how to word it. It's like, yes, it is clear that you have like mental health issues and
Yeah.
like most people do. So like props to you for being vocal about
Yeah.
it. But like but
Mhm.
for him to constantly be like that, it's like it's kind of draining.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't know. I'm surprised he's not getting help.
Yeah.
I mean, I almost feel like for him though specifically, he is doing this as his image.
I was gonna say he almost doesn't want the guy has access to everything in the world.
He
I mean,
could
we don't know the
easily get
details,
help.
but like
Right. We don't know. We don't
at
know.
this point, that like mental health part of his
he could get help.
persona is like it though.
Yeah.
Like imagine he got better and it would be a different
Oh yeah.
entity. Like you know what
It's
I
like
mean?
when
Totally.
celebrities are like fat and
He, like,
everybody
needs
likes
it.
them as fat,
Yeah.
but then they get skinny and they're
And
like,
then they're
yeah,
like,
it's not the same.
Oh
Yeah.
my God,
You're
the
not as
guy,
funny.
yeah,
You're not as
right,
funny
like,
anymore.
Yeah, there's a ton of
What's
them.
his
I don't know.
face?
I don't know. Could be anybody.
Oh my God. The guy with
Stand-up guy?
no, this is gonna piss me off. He's
Comedian?
not stand he's an actor, but he's mostly comedy.
Jonah Hill?
Yes.
Yeah.
That I was like
I guess
was
that
like,
was an
Jay,
I've
obvious
seen
one.
clips
Jonah.
of him and
Yeah.
people like
He
making
looks
fun.
scary
What was
skinny.
that? What was that talk show he's on? Like Jimmy Fallon, maybe?
Yeah.
And he's like drilling him. He's like, damn, like I thought you would smell bad or something. And he's kind of sitting there like, dude.
To
like,
Jonah?
what? Yeah, like live in the thing. And Jonah's kind of like sat and he's like, well, he's like, why do you think he's like, I don't know. You just kind of look like you be like, and
Oh,
he's like,
shit.
well, I'm just going to try to take that not as a this? Like,
Yeah,
what?
that
Okay,
was
move
rude.
on. Like, it was so awkward, and I was like, oh, poor guy.
Oh my God, secondhand embarrassment.
Yeah.
That's awkward.
Never on Joey
That's
Joy
less
Radio.
than that's less embarrassment and more like he was getting like, you know what I mean? It wasn't someone up there like trying to do something and they like look bad doing it. It was like someone just came out and was like,
he's just like insulting him.
Yeah.
I think he was probably he was probably assuming he would like joke.
Yeah.
Because he's
Yeah.
usually funny.
Mm-hmm.
But there's another example of like I know actually Jonah Hill. I'm forgetting the name of this documentary. Superbad. That's a classic. But there's a documentary that he wrote, directed, produced, whatever, and it was like all in black and white. I think it came out last year. It's on Netflix, and it's all about his mental health.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I completely forgot about this.
Did you watch it though?
Yes.
Good?
Of course, yes.
Recommend.
Highly recommend. I'll have to get back to you on the name because I forget everything. It was I just know it was one word, but my friend told me about it and I was like, oh, cool. Like, so inspiring. And just like, again, like you realize like, okay, you think he's one way and he's really like, he's got a lot. I mean, most people do. But like, because he's in the spotlight and people see him as this funny fat guy, you know, like he's got a lot of shit inside. Yeah. He's a human being.
That actually is a good segue. Since you've moved to LA, have you had any have you met any celebrities that you thought they were one way, but then you met them and you walked away with it going, they were something else, for better or worse?
Yeah, someone you thought was going to be a douchebag and they ended up being cool, or someone you thought was going to be cool and ended up being a bitch.
That's a really good question. Yeah, well, I think... Okay, and this isn't like good or bad. It was just, it's interesting. Like I met Dixie D'Amelio, who's so cool.
I know Dixie.
So down to earth, right? Like super chill. And I mean, when I say met her, like we follow each other. At least I think she still follows me. I hope so. The minute that she followed me, I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, is this real? She's killing it. Props to her. Anyway, I was at this party and a lot of like Bryce Hall was there, and actually, there's a good example. Bryce is actually a cool guy. Like he's actually. I
say that to everybody. Yes. Looks like this douchebag like loser. First time I went to the club with him, I was like, "No, what? You're the man, bro! Right? Like, what? Everyone talks way too much shit. I'll chill with you any day."
He can take it, and I think that also is his persona, like his shtick. Because he's like, oh, this is a douchebag, and it's like he's kind of living, but
it's the engagement to get people like
the engagement.
The
he
Twitter
wants
warrior.
it, yeah, like the fuck you, like. But he's actually really cool.
He is.
Like we just like talked about like life. Like
that's an example I give a lot because people. Oh, he's probably. I'm like, to be honest, bro.
No, you were.
I was
so
pleasantly
chill.
surprised he was the man.
Yeah, so chill. Like he's. I mean, again, I'm not like best friends with him, but I've met him a few times, and every time it's hey.
It's enough to know if someone's a loser or
you
not.
You can tell. You can. I'm like a very like first impression person. I'm like I either can vibe with you or you're not it.
Caffeine might mess with your head a little bit.
Well, yes.
Like your mood and
my God. It's actually, I've been really decreasing my caffeine lately because I used to have like, not only do I take my Adderall, which is enough.
Caffeine.
On steroids.
Sorry, I guess it was a smoothie. It looked like a pumpkin spice
Erewhon
whatever.
smoothie. It was like the Tinks,
I like your nails in that one.
I know that.
Whitest thing you've ever seen.
You're talking the whole video like.
I'm just like, I was like trying to show off my nails. I was like, I literally tapped the cup and everything. I'm like, I paid good money for these. Yeah.
Get your money's worth.
Yeah, right.
Coffee. Yeah.
Yeah. Coffee though.
Caffeine affecting.
Oh my God. Do you guys get irritable when you have too much, or is that just a me thing?
I try to stay away from too much caffeine.
Because I will get irritable. Or I'll feel sick.
Yeah.
I get sick.
I think that's what was happening to me too. I was like, my appetite's fucked. I get like shaky a little bit.
Well, so shaky. And then you have to drink even more water. I don't know. It's like, I think I have such like an addictive personality that it's like, I was so used to drinking so much that I was like, if I don't drink this, I'm going to be exhausted.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like part of the placebo. Like,
it
too.
is.
Like, you're like, if you, not even the way the caffeine's affecting you, just like actually drinking, like, okay, now I'm good.
It's placebo.
Kind of like the video you were doing, like you were making a joke, but it kind of is like that. Like the first sip.
It's relatable.
Like the first sip probably doesn't do anything to you, but it's like, okay, you taste it and you're like, all right, now we're on top.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, now I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
It is a drug.
You get your fix.
Oh my God,
no,
you get your
it's the most addictive drug in the world.
It is caffeine.
Yeah.
It really is.
So since moving out here and you said like some of your, I don't know, like issues, I guess, like kind of blow, like everything here is kind of magnified. And like, I don't know, it's just like exaggerated. I was gonna say exaggerated that time, but also exacerbated.
Exacerbated, that's what it was. Yeah.
Like, I don't know, what are some of your coping mechanisms?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Do you talk to a
Besides
therapist
Adderall.
out here, or no, you're not a
Well,
therapist?
so I actually, thanks for reminding me. I have to, with my job, I get health insurance. So I'm like, take advantage of that.
Yeah.
This is your therapy session for the day.
This
So we
is,
got
I
you.
love
for free,
that.
free
For
of charge.
free.
You got you.
The best. You guys are the best therapists. I had gone to therapy for years. I'd also taken like medications, like anti-anxiety, depressant, whatever. And then it's actually literally a week ago, I just started back on because I went off of it because I was like, oh, I don't need them. I'm good. And then I was like, I don't feel like this is helping me anymore. And so I was like, I'm going to wean off of it. And then in these past few months, I had a lot of personal stuff going on. And oh my God, I needed it. I needed it. And so I ended up admitting to myself, okay, you know what? I think I'm just one of those people who has like a chemical imbalance. I need a little extra boost. It doesn't have to be like a crazy thing. And like, I'm not ashamed of it, but it was just kind of something that I was like, I thought I could do without it.
Yeah.
Cause I'm also like very holistic, you know?
I feel like it's natural to never want to be like dependent on anything, a person, of anything, you know what I mean?
100%.
But then sometimes you know what I mean? Like, oh.
Yeah. So I think therapy though, like everyone, therapy is like, so, I mean, I just think like, I'm someone that needs to talk. Like my sister and I are complete opposites. Like she's an internalizer. Like I'm good, but then it, suppresses. Then I'm like, no, you're not. Like just talk about it. But I can respect that it's hard for her. Whereas I need to talk about it, you know?
Or else it eats you up.
It eats me up.
I don't talk about it. I don't talk about stuff.
Well, I also think for guys, I mean, not to be like sexist, but that's a thing.
No,
it's
a
like,
thing.
It's a thing. You guys don't want to be as like open, like you're not trying to talk about your feelings as much, you know?
I think it just goes like hanging out with your friends. In my experience, at least, I feel like more often than not, girls like get together and in their head, they're like, okay, I want to talk about this problem. Like they're like almost, okay, I'm going to bounce. We're going to bounce all these off each other.
Yes.
Guys, like not even a thought.
You don't like, that's like what you don't
like when
want
my
to.
good close friends bring something up to me, I'm like, oh shit, they're going through it. Like we need to,
they
like
must
if
not
they
be
can't,
okay.
you know what I mean? It's something that they really, I'm like, okay, well,
let's talk.
Yeah, you got something going on.
Because that's when you know.
Yeah.
100%.
If you had to give advice to somebody who was seeking therapy for the first time, what would you kind of say to them?
Well, I'd say first off, proud of you.
Could be daunting.
Yeah, swallow your pride.
Daunting.
Almost. Like,
I honestly, and I'm not going to say names, but a loved one of mine is, I'm trying to help him find a therapist.
Yeah.
And again, it's his first time. He's never done that. It is daunting. And that's actually, I think, the word he said. It's scary because you're like, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
So firstly, if you have like health insurance that can cover it, you got to go like whatever it is. I know just from my own experience, you can go through like I have like Blue Cross or whatever. So I go to their website. You can just like filter out like what you're trying, like what you're looking for. And then it'll just have like a list of like a ton of people that fall under your plan. I think a lot of it can be virtual now too, which is nice. Like telemedicine's huge.
I think I'd want it if I was
want it in
do
person.
I would want to do it in
person.
person.
Yeah, like,
it's like night and day.
even stuff like this, like the Zoom
it's not the
podcast. Like
same.
if I can't get you here sitting in front of me, we'll wait until we can. You know what I mean?
I agree. It's different. It's not
Pay
the
you
same
to be
effect.
on a fucking Zoom call. Like,
Your friend that you were talking about, are they an LA friend or a home friend?
An LA friend, but he's from the East Coast too.
But
But
yeah, good guy then.
Yeah. Oh yeah, great guy.
East Coast guy.
East Coast guy.
when do you get to the point when you're in therapy where you're like, okay, this person is like this therapist that I chose is good, or you're like, I'm not feeling it. I think I need to change. I think that's like one of the most daunting things. People who have trust issues, like I'm gonna lock myself into this one there. I'm gonna tell them everything, and then
100%. And I think
trusting someone too.
It's trusting someone, and it's also connecting with someone, because I've been to numerous therapists, because I think part of it though was me not giving them a full chance. I think like from my own experience.
That's what I would do. I wouldn't tell the truth. Like, I don't know. It's something in me be like, I'm fucking telling you everything about me.
Oh, I know. It's because
until
I'm
you
like,
figure out if they're cool, kind of.
Exactly. And it does. That's typical though. I think like a good therapist would let you come to them type of a thing, and they have to just make you feel comfortable, especially if it's your first time. I think it's like you have to go in with an open mind, and you have to also tell yourself, listen, I'm going to see this person maybe a few times, because the first time might not click. If you go a few times and you still aren't feeling like this is the right person, then there are options. You have options. Break up with that therapist and start a new relationship, and I've done that. I've done that numerous times.
You've gone through a few?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh God, yeah. Well, I went to therapy starting at like 6. Like or 7. Maybe I was a little older actually, but like
6. I'm 7 maybe.
7. Yeah, 7. It was 7.
Okay, so you were way older.
Yeah, I was way older. I was a completely different human.
Uh-huh.
But no, see, like that's just because, and that kind of goes back to like me and my brain. Like I am that person that has that chemical imbalance. Like I'm an overthinker. Like, I'm a very obsessive, compulsive, like OCD, like very much. So I think I had that even at a young age. And I mean, that's like a whole other thing. But like, I think that just to go back to what you were asking, if you are trying to go to therapy and it's your first time, I think the first thing you should do is like pat yourself on the back. Yeah. Because like for you to take that next step is huge. And then just follow through with it. And like what I told my friend is like, listen, it's hard to get in with a therapist. So I think I helped him with the list of people.
What a good friend.
Like I tried. I love my people.
She's real. She's not scummy
I'm real.
LA.
I'm not
It's the real Syd
No,
Smith.
it's the real Syd Smith. I live up to my name. I'm trying to live up to the name. But what was it?
You hooked him up. You said you hooked him up with the list.
Oh, hooked him up with the list.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Guys, I'm so good.
Nah, you're good.
I hooked him up with a list and I was like, pick like 3. Also, this sounds like it sounds weird, but like I have to see what they look like. Yeah. I Google them and I'm like, can I see myself talking to the person?
See, that's the LA, and that's the shallow in you.
That's the shallow. And I can admit that. I can admit.
Totally
it's shallow, but it's also like, I mean, I'm going to be paying you money. And if they're like old, really old, I'd kind of,
like out of touch maybe.
Right.
Like they might not relate to my problems. Or,
right. Like so I was like, there's a few preferences. Like he's like, I don't want someone that's super old and I want a guy.
I was going to ask you gender. Like
I've always gone to a girl.
Do you go opposite? Do you go the same?
I'm always a girl.
Okay.
I think I would like a girl.
Yeah. And that's great.
I don't think I'd like a guy.
See, like, like he wanted a guy. And I'm like, that makes sense. That's fine. I know guys though that see girls that see guys, but I've always been like, I connect more with a woman. So like nothing against guys though. I've taught, I think.
In my experience, I think girls are more
in tune, maybe,
like,
right?
Like I don't know what the word, like.
They're more in touch
like
with
want to, like all therapists
intuition.
Should
they have that intuition, maybe.
It's like a motherly thing.
Yeah. It is. It's like, you know, like I'd want to spew my problems to a girl rather than a dude. Like definitely, and I think they're more responsive to it.
Yeah, they're just we're more emotional,
more sympathetic, maybe. Maybe that's the word.
Caring, sympathetic. Yeah, it's just like a.
Can I tell you my fear of it?
Yeah. Oh my God, please. I'd love
so
to
like,
know.
not that I even like hasn't even crossed my mind once that I like want to go to therapy at all. Like I'm actually very, like honestly very happy. Like I'm not really struggling internally at the moment.
Yeah, that's great.
And but I do, like everyone, like we've had almost like half the people that we've had on this podcast, everyone's like, oh yeah, therapy, girls and guys that we've had on. Everyone's like, yeah, therapy. Everyone's talking about it. And one of my biggest fears is not like a fear, not like terrified. I kind of get the vibe that a lot of the time they pull problems out of, like, you know what I mean? Like try to explain why you're feeling that way. And maybe it's not the exact, like, I don't know.
I know. What you're
Are your
saying.
parents married?
They're
like,
separated.
Are they together? Oh, okay. So they're separated.
Now, yeah.
Like when you were growing up too, or no?
No,
like,
that was like in the past couple of years. My mom's out in San Diego. My dad's still in New York.
Yeah.
So they're not fully divorced yet. That is,
but
not
together. Not together.
They're not together, right?
So when I like my whole like, without getting into detail, like crazy situation, like mom
at home, stuff,
like I don't just like they went together or whatever. And I fear that if I went to therapy, they would just be digging on that. Where like I kind of feel in my head the opposite. Like I'm a little thankful it was a little messy. You know what I mean? Like I love being character. Like I don't know. Like my mom's like still lives in the hood. My dad lives in like a really like a nice area in Pittsburgh, like went to like a really white, like kind of wealthy area in Pittsburgh school. Yeah. And I would go to my mom's house, I'd be in the hood and I loved it. Like at the time it was confusing, I would say, when I was a kid, like even just little things like the way you dress, the way you cut your hair. Like I would go to like my mom's do one thing and then go to my dad's and the friends, like, what do you wear? Like, what are you doing? And everyone's worlds. Like, what do you, and I was kind of like, oh shit. Like the friends that I went to high school with, like didn't even have a concept of like, how like food stamps or welfare worked or any of that, you know what I mean? And they're like, what? So they give you free, like, what is that? And then at like where I was with my mom, like everyone's like, my mom gave me her food stamp card. Let's go to this, like, you know what I mean? It was like everyone, like it's different. It's
normal. Like that was the norm.
And even like I was like struggling or, but a lot of my friends, like, you know what I mean? They don't have a lot. And then my other friends were doing other things. And I think like a therapist would try to dig into that
Yeah.
and make it a negative situation, where I think of it as I'm thankful for. I think it's the reason why I'm like
I love that.
diverse and can dive into a lot of different people. You know what I mean?
I love that. I think that, and that's a beautiful way to see it, because I think that like that's how I'm trying to see things too. Is like yeah, that sucked, but look at me now. Like look, I grew from that. You know, like
you don't go through shit. You don't really grow. Like
no, if you're
like if everything's all rainbows and butterflies all the time,
everything is spoon fed to you.
boring.
Yeah, you're gonna
It's
be like
boring.
a terrible person.
And it's also like you're just expecting good all the time.
You think therapists do that sometimes, or not in your experience?
I'm trying to think.
Like, did you do like, oh, like I'm making this up. But say like every time I have a boyfriend, like, and he does something like this, like I do this, and then their therapist will be like, well, maybe that was because your dad and your mom did, you know what I mean? And you're like, well, maybe I'm just like irritable, like, you know what I mean? Instead of like deeply rooted, like, because I saw my mom do that, like, that's why I like. Well,
it's funny because one of the therapists that I used to see, a lot of the guys that I dated in the past are very. So, okay, I feel like it is a thing though. Your relationship, like as a girl, your relationship with your dad, usually, like generally speaking, is like.
I think that's a pretty common thing. Like daddy issue, like that's a pretty that's like the most common.
The most
issue.
common, right? Totally. That is a thing, and I can admit I got daddy issues. I really do. Like my dad, I love him. He's my dad, but like like we weren't. My mom and I are like this. And my dad he's a workaholic, you know, like work kind of came first. So it's like, that's fine. And I also respect him for like,
which you can appreciate that, but
dedication. He taught me motivation. He taught me hard work, you know, but like he was almost like a little absent, you know? And that's okay. Like it is what it is. But I can tell now, I think there was a therapist that I saw that was like, well, you know, that it's like, connected to you feeling like this with your dad. And I didn't realize how angry I was with my dad until she said that. And then I think as time went on, I was like,
that did bother me,
like that did. But I think it was always, that was the norm for me. I was like, I was used to it. So I was like, whatever. I was more angry at my boyfriend at the time, but it's like, you know, it's because of this. Like you are choosing this, like you can't choose your dad. You're choosing to date this guy. And it was the guys that I dated, generally speaking, a lot of them that I had like the hardest time with were ones that were like detached. You know, like I felt like I was chasing or like they were emotionally unavailable. You know, like. So
do you even if say your dad was a stay-at-home dad and raised you, like if you dated this guy and you were doing the chase and being annoyed by it, you'd probably still be fucking annoyed by it. You know what I mean? Like, or do you think it like.
So to go back to what you're saying about the whole like therapist doing that, I can't speak for every therapist because again, you are going to find one that is the jackpot. It hits the spot. This is great. They get me. They see me. And
Sometimes.
also like, but not all the time. And like, I know what you're saying where it's like, I don't want you to tell me how I'm feeling. But another, like, I think that what I've learned too is like therapists shouldn't actually, because I actually minored in psychology because for a hot second I was like, I kind of want to be a therapist, but then I was like, I have too many of my own problems. I don't have time for this. But I love helping people.
Feel better about yours here.
Oh,
they're worse
and I'm like,
than me.
Tell me everything. Now I feel so much better. It's horrible, but true. But I learned in like one of these psych classes, like you can't tell your patient what to do. They need to figure that out themselves. You guide them. So like therapists that are telling you what to do, they're not the right one.
And something else too, kind of the same category or the same topic. Like your parents, like I've been like meme stuff. It's like, oh, therapy is just like tearing apart the bad job your parents did. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And somewhat recently I've not noticed, but like I've came to realization, like I've been thinking about it a lot. Like I'm like a little older than my parents were when they had me. And I feel like a fucking teenager. Like, you know what I mean? Like 25 years old is crazy. Like
you're 25?
Well, I'm 26, but like, pretty much the same age as them. Like when
you're completely different happened. Point in your life
and
compared to them. Yeah.
Thinking about it is like when I was growing up, think about when you're 2, 3, 4 years old. Like I was probably 29 or something. Yeah. Like you're a kid and you look up at your parents like, this is Superman, never done anything wrong. You know what I mean? And then you start to think, then you're like, oh, well, that was weird that they did. Like, that was kind of messed up that they did that. Yeah. And then I think again, like, they don't know what they're doing. Like, if I had a kid right now, I don't even know the first. like that's a learning experience and they're not perfect. Like you think when you're a kid, like your parent, they know everything. Your mom knows everything. Like I have this on my, do this, I'll get the stain out of that. I'll do it. And you're like, okay, she's been through it all and she knows everything. She's probably 29 years old. Like they don't know anything. You know what I mean?
They're humans. They don't know.
And I think that kind of like, that helps me think like little things, like, I don't know, little things made me upset. Like my mom was acting up and like whatever she was doing. It's like,
you have
like,
these
who is she?
expectations.
She's not perfect. No one's perfect.
No.
Like you mess up. Like I would never hold that against. Like
no, you as a kid, I feel like you look at your parents like they are everything, and it's like they are always right. Like they know what to do. But as you get older, like my mom, they're humans. Like they make mistakes.
Like they figured it out. And I'm alive, and I'm a good. Like they did something right.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Look at you. Like you're like
look
seriously.
At us. Look at all of us here. We made it.
Look at us.
But yeah,
I like to think of it like that more than like, oh, they did this. That's why you're like that. It's like, okay, that might have, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, they're not going to do the right thing every time, but who does?
Yeah, right. And it's like, what I respect.
I know they loved me. You know, they weren't doing anything bad on purpose. Like, they loved the fuck out of me. Like, you know what I mean?
Never bad intentions.
Like, they didn't like each other, but like me, never questioned. Like, they love, like, and that's all you could, that's bare meant. Like, you know what I mean?
That's all you really want.
Everything else is extra. Everything else is extra.
Yeah. You just want to be loved. And I think also, like, going back to the whole daddy issue thing, like, if you're not getting that love or attention from your dad, you're seeking that out in a guy.
Someone else, you
and
want to fill it up.
And what doesn't make sense to me is, like, again, this is like a psychological thing, is like, you're going for that type of guy, even though it's like, he's not going to give you what you want. Like, it's a what I've noticed is like, I was in a bad place. Yeah, I want to fix them.
Is that what you
fix her upper?
Fix them.
I was one of those bitches.
Yeah.
I was one of those bitches.
You just wanted a project.
I want a project. I want to fix it. Like, don't get me wrong. I genuinely loved and cared about this guy.
Yeah.
But no, I wanted to fix him. I wanted to fixate, because I'm a control person. I'm like, I want to like formate you into what makes me happy. I can admit that now where I am in my life. Back then, oh, no, it's him. It's a him problem. This is like, yeah, he did shitty stuff. I was not perfect, you know, but like I viewed it as, this is him. It's all on him. No, like he is who he is. I'm choosing, like, you can't change someone, you know? And I think like that's where I've come to realize, like,
unless they want to change themselves.
Unless they want to change themselves. You can't, and it's like, you can't expect that. You can't fix everyone.
It's never going to be clean cut.
No,
nothing.
No
Life is never, relationship
is
is never going to be clean cut.
No.
But what about now? Single, dating,
I'm in a
asking for a friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in a relationship. I know. Sorry.
And you want to get married?
It was for a friend. Sorry.
So this is actually a fresh one. And he's very under the
not married to him. I just mean in general.
Is it
I want to get married. I want to have kids. I want to get married.
Is it the guy on your on a lot of your videos or no?
Oh no. People no, who is that? That's, you know, Christian Vierling.
I don't know.
You know who that is? He's like one of my best guy friends. He's a TikToker. If you looked him up,
I'd probably recognize him. Yeah,
you would 100%.
Okay.
But he's like my brother.
Okay. Cool.
But no, my boyfriend now is, what's nice is that we started off as friends and just friends for over like 2 years. We were just friends. And I've always wanted that. Like, I've always wanted a relationship where it's like genuine, like you have that kind of like building block of like,
it's not forced, it's not rushed.
It's not like a honeymoon
foundation
phase.
is there.
It's just wanting sex, or it's just physical. Like, you genuinely care about each other, you know? And I think like that is where a mature relationship comes in. This is the healthiest relationship I've ever been in. I'm already learning so much more about myself just because of him. And he's older than me. So like, I've always dated younger. I've always been a cougar. Like, I'm like, oh, like, I mean, not like 10 years younger, but like two or three, 1 year. I've always gone for younger. And that's,
I feel like it's opposite for most girls. Like, I feel like more often than not.
Oh no, girls just go older.
Yeah.
So I was always like, and that's where I think the whole MILF character came in too. I was like, it's not completely a lie. Like, I do like young guys,
a little
you know?
bit.
But he has a baby face, so it makes up, you know? So no, he looks young, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah, nice. Good genes.
Best
I'm
of
like,
both worlds.
You're aging so nicely. Best of
You got
both
an
worlds.
aged brain and a young face.
Right, exactly. Because he's like emotionally mature, like for the most part. But he really is. And I think with that, I'm able to learn just more about myself. And like, I'm also very comfortable like talking to him. Whereas like the guys I've dated in the past, like I couldn't really open up to as much. I felt like they didn't, not that they didn't care, but like they weren't emotional. They weren't like, and not that he's super emotional, but he's like there, like he's wanting to help.
Is he from LA?
No. He's from Massachusetts. Yeah.
What, like Boston?
Right outside of Boston.
So he's another East Coast
So
guy.
it's an East Coast guy. It's hard dating in LA.
Yeah, I was like, anytime I talk to a girl and they're like, yeah, born and raised LA, I'm like, red flag. And also like, who's even from here that lives here anymore? Everyone is like an implant. Would you want to get married and stay here? Like, would you have kids here? You want kids?
I do want kids. Yeah. I want to get married. I want to have kids. That has always been a want. You know, I think about it, and I know he does too. And I don't know if he'll be the one or not, but right now I'm happy, so that's great. But I do know, like, LA is not only really expensive, like, I want to buy a house. Like, I want to be able to buy a house. And so it's like, that's going to be hard. Like, I got to really, like...
You want a little more white picket fence kind of like vibe?
I mean, my dream would be living in Malibu. I want to live in Malibu so bad. Like, that would be so hot. Like, having, like, a nice beachfront home. I'm manifesting. Well, he does, too. We're like manifest. But, like... I love California. Like, I don't see myself moving back to my hometown. Like, I love California.
That would be crazy. Going to Rochester would be pretty crazy.
Like, you don't see yourself moving back, do you? Or do you maybe?
I don't know. I have a lot of time. I would say, I don't think I'd want my kid. Like, I kind of recently decided, like, definitely want kids. I think that's kind of what we're here for.
Yeah.
I think it's not much deeper than that. I think you're here to, like take care of the people around you, make everyone happy, work on yourself, try to be successful to the best you can, and raise a little good human. You know what I mean? Like, put another good person in there. I think that it's not much deeper than that. I think we kind of get people, humans, like, we're just like every other animal. I don't think it's that deep. We're here to, like, be good people, raise some good people, contribute a little bit.
It's not that deep.
Then you die. Like, seriously, I think people put so much pressure, like, slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think that'd be so cool to, like, see my dad and my son, like, that'd be like a great, like,
I know.
Like,
and your dad's young. You said 52?
Yeah.
See, my parents were older when they had me. Okay. And I'm the oldest. It's just me and my younger sister. She's 3.5 years younger than me.
How old was your mom when she had you?
She was, get this, okay. She was, so she also was married prior to my dad. They were both married before.
Do you have any half siblings or no?
They didn't have kids. So I was kind of surprised, but they were both workaholics. My mom lived in Miami in the 80s.
Hey,
Cocaine Cowboys. Like, that's
like Scarface.
That was Scarface era. No, she lived it up. But she was
lit.
like big businesswoman. Okay. So like, and that's how she met my dad, who was like, advertising, and she was like sales. And so, yeah, but they were both with other people, and then eventually like made their way to each other. But she was like 36 when she married him, 38 when she had me, which crazy. Is older, but it's also like, okay, that's reassuring because like I stress, like it's hard. Like I have been in my friends' weddings like in the past couple of years, and like they're
probably
like
you're like right in the few years, like fucking 4 or 5 years that everyone's
they're
like boom,
kids,
boom,
they're
boom.
popping up, and I have my little dog Bean, and he is the one child.
That's your kid.
That's my kid. That's my baby. I can hardly take care of myself.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna wait until
I also think it's important. Like sometimes just like my parents, I know were not trying to have a baby for sure.
Yeah.
It happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I think in best cases, like you want to make sure like you're ready to not be selfish anymore, because your life, you could be not even in a malicious way, but your life, I think, is like supposed to be self-centered the whole time until you do that.
You got to be ready.
Like even your parents, I guess you should care for your parents, but it is true. You didn't ask to be made. Like your parents made you. So like it's their responsibility. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like you can feel responsible. You obviously help your fucking parents out, but like that's not really your obligation if you want to get down to it. Your kid, there's no way. That's your obligation, and you make sure that is okay before you do anything else.
Yes.
You got to be ready for that. I'm not ready for that.
No, see, I'm not ready.
But and I know I'm not ready for that.
But that's not being selfish. That's actually like being a good person. Because it would actually be worse.
It is being selfish, but not in a negative way. I'm saying positively selfish.
Positive selfish because you're like, I know you're self-aware.
You're
like, I am not ready to have a kid right now. I'm not going to do that to them. I'm not going to bring them into this world and then not be there for them. You know, so it's like, no, they'll thank you later. Like it's all good. But no, I totally agree. I think that like you should be selfish. Like, I mean, my parents did their thing. Like they were just, they were older, but back then in like the 90s, early 2000s,
that was older back then.
That is old. Like that is older, but I feel like that's kind of coming back a little bit. Like I know people that are in their 30s, like women, but then it's like, can you actually have kids? Like it's a whole fertility thing too.
Listen to this. It's going to blow your mind. You think your mom was old? 38? So my mom, I was my dad got remarried, so I had 2 step siblings.
Okay.
But I was my mom, my dad's only biological kid.
Okay, see, I was gonna ask.
I was a senior in high school. My mom gave me a call, Joey. I was 18 years old. Joey, pregnant, like little girl, you're gonna have a little sister. I was like, Mom, shut up. My little sister's 8 years old right now. My mom was 47.
Shut up.
Swear,
She's
no
fertile.
problems, no props, smooth. Because it was work. Like I didn't even know that was a thing.
47?
Like that, it's like a
That's
health. Like a
impressive.
woman could be very, very hurt doing. Like you know what I mean?
It's
like
a health concern.
and everyone worried. And I remember everyone's worried. I'm like, what? You just give birth. That
my
happens
God.
every day. And it's way different when you're almost 50. Like
I know.
and she did it smooth. Like my little sister, she's 8 years old, runs around. It's
my
crazy. Same mom, different
God.
dad, obviously, but
That's so you
Wild.
are an only child with like your biological parents.
yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah,
like,
together,
your parents
yeah.
together,
Mhm.
and then 2 half siblings.
So 2-step.
2
That-
step.
My stepmom in her first marriage had adopted 2 babies from Guatemala. So like, and my dad and my stepmom actually owned a gym together before they got married.
Oh my God.
So
that's
like they were,
cool.
yeah, it was like they were like friends, kind of like you. They were
Like
like cool
friends,
friends, and then she
yeah.
got divorced, and my dad wasn't with my mom, and then they owned the gym for like some years and kind of just like
Made their
whatever.
way.
So my stepbrother and sister, even before they were my stepbrother and sister, like I was in the gym and the daycare with them and shit, like
Oh,
growing up.
yeah.
So like they were my siblings, kind of.
Yeah.
And then when I was a senior in high school, my mom had my little sister Mia, and so now I have that's my only biological sibling. And
18 years
half-
apart.
Yeah. So that's weird, like relate, because she knows obviously she my big brother, but the relationship is like I'm her uncle or some shit. You know,
You're
I'm like
not-
babysitting her.
yeah.
I'm like
didn't
don't.
grow
I'm like
up
yeah,
with her.
no. So it's
No.
like she knows my big brother,
Yeah.
but like it's not like
She sees you as an adult.
I
though.
didn't grow up with my sister. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
I'm like
You're like, I'll
babysitting her
take
and
care
driving.
of you.
Yeah. It's like all right. Like what do you want to eat? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's
Oh my
pretty
God.
crazy.
Honestly, good for your mom. That is impressive. And also good for her for like just doing it all over again, you know? I mean, that is 18 years.
Yeah,
That's
I think
crazy.
she's pretty like I've never really had this conversation. Maybe I have, but she's like pretty pro life.
Yeah.
Like I've
Yeah.
talked about this before. Like
Mm-hmm.
logistically, my mom was a stripper. My dad he's a pro boxer actually, but a bouncer like on the weekend in the club, and they kind
Is
of
that how
like,
they met?
mhm.
Yeah.
We're so romantic, right?
So hot.
But like had a kid on accident. Obviously, they weren't trying
Yeah.
to make a baby, and
Yeah.
easily abortion would have been the answer.
Mhm.
And they just like you know what I mean. That was a crazy
Thank
hectic
God
day.
they
Like,
did.
and so that's why the battle in my head's kind of weird. I've talked about that before.
Yeah.
I'll get your opinion on it, like pro life and pro abortion.
I think it's hard, especially like being a woman. This is very, and also being in LA, I feel like it's very liberal.
Yeah.
It just is. I
I think
grew
you should
up.
be able to have.
I think you
entitled to
should
your
be able,
opinion.
right?
Like what?
I'm very much in the middle because
Mm-hmm.
I would like abortion for me. Like I don't think I could do it, but like I'm also thinking like I think it's like case by case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If I can say that, like
It also
generally
depends
speaking,
who-
it
but-
depends.
Then what? So you're saying it's case by case depending on who got you pregnant?
Well, depending on the situation, because I think like if it's like some young person that doesn't have a job, they couldn't, they like we were saying before, like they couldn't take care of a kid.
Yeah.
Well, then they could always put it up for adoption. So it depends, but like
There's already a lot of kids that need
there's
to be
so
adopted,
many kids,
though,
and
so-
it's sad to me, but it's hard. Like I would never want to be birth control.
Yeah. Are you on birth control?
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? I ask.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
Bitch
you
thinks
asked
it's
every
funny.
girl.
I
have
ask
an
every
IUD.
girl that.
Do you know what an IUD is?
We talked about this
we had a
yesterday
big
too.
conversation
Do you want to
about
talk about
God.
IUDs real
Yeah.
quick?
Oh
I have
my
a question
God.
for you. Wait, it's the one like in
You
yeah.
insert-
Okay, so
Ugh.
question: Has you were like playing around? Has anyone ever felt
Felt
it
it.
with their?
I've asked. I'm like, do you feel the strings?
Has nobody?
I think one time
Because I like anytime.
I've had a few IUDs. Okay, yeah, I don't know why I put myself through that. When I first went to college, I got it, and it
Damn.
had hormones in it, so like it made
Fucked
me not
you
get
all
your
up.
period. Like you weren't like it was great.
that
it-
probably fucked your mood up
But
and
it
shit.
fucked
No?
my mood up. And so my mom, quick sidetrack, she has a history of cancer, breast cancer. So and that's another reason why she didn't think she could have kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was born, and they're like, she's gonna come out interesting. But I'm okay.
And you did. You came out
I came out
interesting.
interesting. But yeah, so that's why that was a whole other thing. But thing with estrogen, whatever.
Yeah.
She was a little like, I don't know about, because she has 2 daughters. Does it run in in our genes? We don't know. But we were like, let's just try birth control. You're going to college. Let's be smart. Blah blah blah. So I was on it for like a year, and then I didn't actually like it because I was like, I don't want the hormones. It is, I think, messing with my mood. Again, different for everyone because I know people that love it and it's fine. It doesn't bother them. But then I got into another one and I broke out in cystic acne. And then
that's hormonal.
That's
why,
hormonal.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I don't care.
Like you're doing it, it's fucking with your hormones. I think pretty much everyone's on the same wave. Like it doesn't make you feel good. Like,
no,
it's not.
It's like okay, if
you don't want to mess with your hormones
sexually active, like be smart about it. But like, it sucks. Like it's hard being a woman. Let me tell you that shit.
No, I've felt them.
Do not envy you.
Yeah,
I've felt them. I felt them.
You felt them?
Yeah, it hurts. I don't like it.
Wait, so you have felt like an IUD?
Yes.
And
Multiple times,
it
like
hurt.
more often than like I know. I don't even have to ask the girl. Like,
You know
if
it's there?
I'm like
Oh
yeah,
my God, you
sometimes
actually feel it?
1000% more often than that.
That's scary.
And it hurt. It's like a.
So it hurts you?
Yeah.
Does it hurt her?
No, they don't even know.
What?
So tell me if I'm wrong. This is what it feels like to me.
Yeah,
like
tell
a
me.
little like metal, like I get like a
Like
a wire.
Yes. Like it's
hitting
the
like the
tiniest
tip of my
thing.
dick. It hurt. Like I've had to like.
You must
like,
be
oh,
really
okay.
well endowed. Like, I mean, Jesus. If you're reaching up, I mean, come on. Unless it's low, then their person didn't put it
Like
high up.
like no.
It should be in their like uterus. Like you shouldn't be. Like technically, you should not be able to feel
no,
it.
that's what everyone says. And then
But sometimes that happens.
Mhm.
So that's happened with
multiple
girls, not the same. Like it's happened a few times. Huh. Well, I think
some
it
worse than
depends.
others. One time I with a girl, and felt it bad, like, and I like whatever, and she was someone I was kind of like, wasn't just like a random person, you know what I mean, like someone that I had, and she like went to the doc. She was like, no, like whatever, and she went to the doctor, and it actually had fallen out of place, like
It falls out of place.
like
I
yeah,
had that happen.
and she had to get it fixed, and then I like with again,
Did
and I
you
didn't
do
feel it.
that-
I don't know, but the next time we did it, it must have been
You didn't
up in
feel
there.
it.
I didn't feel it.
See, I think that because I've had a few of them, and which I don't know why I kept putting myself through it. I mean, this is so gross, but one time I was in so much, but I'm like disgusting. I took it out myself.
Shut up.
I don't
Isn't
tell
that
a lot
like
of people that.
surgically?
It's- yeah.
How's that?
I'm just because
up in
I
there,
think whatever it was after doing something, it must have misplaced, and so I was in a lot of pain. I was
When you got it out, did you feel better? Or no, it still hurt?
Yeah, I think it kind of like lingered, and then it was better. But I'm like thinking about it, and I'm like, oh, like it was in a weird spot, and I'm like, I mean, I almost threw up. I was like, this is horrible. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I was like, I can't. Like, I just need it out. I was in this like this state of mind where it's like just, and I took it out. I ripped it out. Yeah.
And then what? You went? Was the doctor like? Oh,
And then
like you're
they
the
were like,
first
why would
one.
you do
You're like the
that?
first woman to take it out yourself.
Yeah, they're like, why? And I was like, it fell out. Like I just like, like no, it was just it fell. Like I probably like lied because I was like, I don't want them. Like I'm like that's
You're
psychotic.
like performing surgery. You're like, no, it just came out.
Yeah,
by
it was
itself.
like just with my hand. Like oh my god. Yeah, I was like, it just fell. Like oh my god. Yeah, and like the insertion is the worst.
I'm not jealous.
No.
I'm not jealous of you.
But no, I've had the copper one. So a lot of people are now on that, which is non-hormonal. It just acts as like a blocker. So like you can, feel like, okay, we're good. It's all good, but you're not getting like the side effects.
Yeah.
It depends though. Everyone's different.
Yeah. They're like researching on male birth control. I don't think
deal
I would
with
take
that?
it. I don't think I would take it.
It's a pill?
Like if I was a girl, I think I wouldn't do birth control. Like I think messing with your hormones is crazy. But like I get it. You don't want, like, obviously you don't want to have a kid, but like I don't know. Like I would never be like if I was dating someone and like didn't want a kid, I'd be like, be on birth control so we can do it. Like
for peace of mind.
Like I wouldn't be like I'm saying I wouldn't be like,
oh, you wouldn't.
No, I'd be like, if you want
do
it,
what
like
you
just
want.
because I know how bad it fucks you up. Some people gain a lot of weight. Some people lose their
yeah.
appetite completely. Some get pimples all over your face.
Oh my
boobs
God.
get bigger and small. Like I see it, like
the pill is what does that.
Like-
I never went on the pill because I didn't want those side effects.
and if something could do that shit to you, like that's scary.
And
like
also
I wouldn't.
messes you up in the long run.
Yeah, it's the same way as like so many people in this scene out here in LA, like dudes my age, and we're like too young to be doing this. Testosterone, people are doing testosterone, steroids,
What?
TRT. I'm surprised you're surprised about that. Everybody.
Well, I know about steroids, but I thought testosterone was like, I didn't know. I mean, I know that people do that, but I thought like it was like transgenders that are doing that.
Well, no, it's dudes go
Dudes
and
that just want more.
and whatever. But sometimes you go to the doctor, and if your levels are like a little low or something, they'll give it to you, and you'll be through the roof again.
Oh my God.
But it's like people my age, like some people do like medical things and like have to do it, but like just to do it, just so you look shredded, like
recreationally is scary.
That's scary to me. Like I'm probably at a point in my life where I have the most testosterone I'll have.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to like do it then. But I will say when I'm like 40, 45 something, I'm definitely going to be doing it because you need it then.
It's hair. Like you'll lose your
everything,
hair.
your energy,
like
your skin,
your sex drive. Like you want to feel, like obviously you want to feel
when you're older, not when you're in your 20s.
But when you're in your 20s, that will mess you up. And for the record, when guys take steroids and they're like that like beefy, like I personally, gross. Like, of course I love a little muscle, but I'm like,
it's weird. I see it and I'm in the gym and I'm like, damn, I feel like a little shrimp next to this dude. Like,
I think it's,
but I don't even like, I wouldn't, I think even if I took steroids, like the way I'm built, I'm just like tall and skinny. Like, I wouldn't even be able to get big like that.
No.
But I just also think that's not my vibe. Like gym takes up most of my day. Like if I wasn't doing that, I don't know what I'd be doing. But that's not my like like I don't want to be doing gym content or like that's not, I don't want to look like a fitness, you know what I mean? That's not my thing. But I think if you're not going to, like, you need to go to the gym. But like
it's like one thing being healthy and fit, but
I wouldn't be good at that.
I don't think it's healthy.
Cross a line sometimes.
You cross a line, and I think it becomes an obsession. Like it's like it's not enough. It's not enough.
A lot of them don't. A lot of them don't realize that they're getting too big. And they'll look back and they'll be like, "Oh wow,
that's what my friend Nathan, who was actually on the same reality show as me, he lives out here.
I want to talk about that. I want to know.
I'll give you all the juice. He's a big dude.
Yeah.
And we were talking about like body dysmorphia is usually like a girl thing.
100%.
Like most of the time. And I was like, the last person anybody thinks about is the huge jack dude in the gym, and they probably have it the most. Like he would look at him, he would say like, damn, I'm looking small. And I'm looking at him like,
you're like, dude, you're huge.
Bro, I say this every time. I'm like, bro, you look like an action figure.
Yes.
Like you look like an action figure. Like you look edited on Instagram. And then when I see you in your life, you look like that, bro. Like you couldn't, like most people look at you and think like you literally couldn't do anything out. Like there's nothing to do.
Dysmorphia.
And he looks at himself like at his muscles and shit. And he's like, I need to get bigger.
It's
like,
never enough.
Never enough.
But like that is, it's a legitimate thing. Like you see yourself in a different way than what you actually are. Girls and guys, but guys,
everybody, I see it too, not to a crazy point. Like you notice like things on your face and like, you know what I mean? You're like, and then no one else is really noticing it. But
you're like, oh, like a pimple. I'll be like, oh my God. Like, and they're like, oh, now I see it because you pointed it out. But before I didn't before.
Yeah. Now you're like looking at it. Like, like now I can't, now I'm talking to the pimple. Like,
I can't not see it.
What'd you want to know about Too Hot to Handle?
Just everything. Like, how did you get into it? Like, what made you want to get onto it?
So I was like 22 or something. Like I was
Yeah, you were young. I mean, it was
maybe
only
23, I think. Like I just graduated college.
Yeah.
Like 2 years ago, whatever.
Marketing degree.
And marketing degree. And I moved down to Miami. I was like doing life insurance or some shit. And then I had like 2,000 followers on Instagram, like a very normal Instagram page, like whatever. I will say in college, like junior, like even maybe before that, I like wanted to get into creating, you know what I mean? And then I started taking pictures seriously. Like I made a friend at college that made really good content, and my school was like this big in like an hour north of Pittsburgh, Amish country. Like borderline, everyone thought it was weird what I was doing. Like I went to a small school and it was easy to be the man at a small school, but like anywhere else, it's kind of like, bro, what do you do? Taking pictures, you have no thought, like videos, pictures. Because I like doing it. I like whatever. It was like kind of cool.
Yeah.
Fast forward probably like a couple of years, like that was my resume. That's why I got on the show. Like if I'd never started to take pictures and shit a little more serious, would never got a DM from a casting director, lived in Miami for like 5 months when I was doing life insurance just because I wanted to live. I got out of Pittsburgh, like, you know, I had to leave. And she reached out like, hey, would you be interested in doing, she pretty much told me Netflix, not the show or anything. Like, yep, sign me up. Like went through months and months of interviews. I'm sure they reached out to thousands of people. And then went to Turks and Caicos. Yeah,
and it's in Turks and Caicos.
Yeah, well, my season was.
Did you enjoy it? Like, was it fun? I mean, I'm sure that's kind of a stupid question.
My personality, like
you're a people person.
I also I love the camera. Like some people like get a little weird. Like for me, it was like a shot of adrenaline. Like going there and film, like seeing a Hollywood movie set. It was Netflix budget. You know what I mean? It was like the biggest production I've ever seen. Yeah. A bunch of beautiful people like on it. You know what I mean? You're in a villa.
Partying in
all
a
they
villa.
can do, they're like, Joey, interview. Like you're filming all. It is tiring. I was like.
It's
you don't know
all
what
day.
time it is all day. They take clocks and you haven't seen the TV in months. So like you don't know what time it is. It's like they put you in this world. That's why people cry. And like you haven't talked to your friends and family in a month.
You don't have your phone.
Hell no.
Is it just a month that you're filming? Or
I
is
was
it
there for
longer?
6 weeks.
Shit, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Did you start feeling like weird though a little bit?
I think at that point, like maybe now if I did it, I would. But
Yeah.
at that point, it was so like
It's
kid
like,
in
oh
a
my
candy.
God,
Like
yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I'm filming a shit.
Yeah.
Like I would have paid them. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
when someone was like, Joe, you got to do this scene. I was jumping up, running to the scene. There was people on the show like that got tired of it. Like I noticed some people that were, like I don't want to do this scene. And the director's like, come on, whatever, leave and pass. And then for me, they're like, Joey, all right, that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I was like,
you're like,
oh,
I want more.
So I loved it. I would do it again. It was a bizarre experience.
I would say. I mean, is it mostly acting?
No.
Are they like forcing anything, or are you just
Set you up?
I
Like
feel
they
like they
kind of
set
gave
you
me my
up.
like who are you interested in? Like on the
Yeah.
side, who you interested? I'm like this person, this person. Like what about this person? You kind of get their vibe because how it works is they make a storyline like as it goes,
Yeah.
and if you don't kind of fall in line with that thing, they figure out a way to kick you off.
Oh, so you're like wanting to
Like
stay
one of the
in
two
line.
ways, you could be like acting up and breaking rules, and they'll kick you out, or following the rules too much and be like, okay, well you don't need
You're
the program
boring.
anymore. You should go. Like
Yeah.
they'll form it in different ways. So I was like, all right, whatever. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But you are yourself, just like when you're making content. Like.
Yeah.
You're yourself at like 120%. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got it. There's a very, very fuzzy line of being entertaining in a reality show
Yeah.
and being disingenuine. Like
Yeah.
viewers can see, and when you're trying to be something, you're not. But you also want to be yourself, like a little more.
Yeah.
A little more.
I always wanted to do like a
You'd be
reality
great,
TV show.
honestly.
Thanks. I just feel like I'm too like.
We have a boyfriend now, so you got to do
Yeah.
non-dating.
But I was
one.
single
You gotta
for
do a
years. Like I was single for years, but like I feel like I'm too like I hate to say like prude, but I would just be like like being like
Maybe not what they're
making
looking for.
like comedic. Like I
Yeah.
just be like ugh. Like I
Well,
just be
sometimes
making
they
weird-
need that.
Right.
The show I was on, they did like the point of it was you weren't allowed to hook up. So like it was like
Yeah.
the pruder the better.
Which was kind of
But
cool. But they want
They
that
want
person.
you to be struggling in there. So like
Yeah.
that's what I say to
Yeah,
people.
they're,
Like
sweating. Like
you're filming for 3 weeks.
yeah.
If someone like there was $100,000 prize fund. If I was like Sydney, can't have sex for 3 weeks, and I'll give you $100,000. If you
Say less.
struggled with that, you have a problem.
You have
a sex problem. Back to what we were saying, you're on entertainment. You need that, like you need to be extra. Like if you're sitting there like I'm chilling,
You're just like, I don't care.
anything.
You need
You want to be like,
entertainment.
oh my God, I was in bed with her and I couldn't even
Yeah,
help
you're like,
myself.
"Ugh,"
Like
you
and
gotta push
it was so hard to just meanwhile it's like I'm not
You're
a
like, I don't
psycho,
really
like-
care. Like it's like sucks, but
Like
it's also,
obviously
like,
really
money.
wanted to, but it's like I don't have a problem. Like I
Yeah.
can chill. Like,
No, they tried it. That's where it's like I think they're pushing it. a
yeah,
bit.
you wanna
I
exaggerate that
would
shit a
love
little
to
bit.
do like Netflix though. Like,
Yeah, we
I
gotta get
love
you
it.
out. You'd be good. You ever see The Circle?
That's the show. Oh my god.
You'd be good
I
because
wanna
then
go
you
on
can
to
be
myself.
because you can do that or catfish it. So it's
catfish.
crazy.
But I feel like I always I was obsessed with that. Like the first season
Yeah.
was the best season.
Was Chloe on there? Or the second?
Chloe.
Yeah, so she was on Too
Or
Hot
no,
to
she
Handle.
was on
season 2 maybe.
second season because
Yeah.
I knew her from Too Hot to
Mhm.
Handle.
Season 1, she's been on a
And
bunch
then-
of
I
Netflix
know,
shit.
she's killing
lit.
it.
I've met her. We're friends.
She's cute.
She's great.
I haven't met
She's
her,
great.
but I think she's awesome.
Yeah, she was
seems
good
like
on
a
the
fun
show too. She was
person.
entertaining.
Yeah, she's funny. Like I
Yeah.
think she's like a good time.
hmm
Yeah.
I have a show. I have a Max show coming out.
Wait, didn't you just post
Yeah,
that today?
I just got the trailer and everything. Like they
Oh my
announced
God,
it today.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I was in the
Congrats.
Hamptons. You ever been to the Hamptons, Miss New York?
No, not
So
yet.
you're not
I'm
from
not
that part
that
of
New York. I know New York. I'm not New York. I'm just ratchet.
that was my first time in the Hamptons. It's sick.
It's so nice there,
Sick.
from what I hear.
Mhm.
I haven't been.
Nice.
Yeah.
Speaking
Speaking
love
of
it.
TV and film, what's coming up next for you? Like, what are you looking forward to? I know you're trying to get into some
Yeah, I
projects.
wanna
and-
get
Stand
some
up.
projects.
I'm gonna force you to get
Yeah.
on.
People have been saying just
We'll be
do
front
it.
row.
Yeah, I'll
I
go.
feel like I
Oh my
think
god,
I
we can
should
set it up. I'll
push
be in the
it.
crowd and you can like make
Like,
fun of me.
yeah,
like I'll like
yeah.
set it
You'll,
up.
like,
Like
set it
crowd
up.
work, crowd work. Like what, you idiot? Like what the fuck you wear? I'll wear something.
Yeah, wait,
just
and let's
drill
be, like,
me.
making fun of you.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like
Go
go
Matt
fully
Rife.
through with stand up, like it'll be a good exercise, a good practice to
Right.
do for the content
And
that
it's
you already made. Like it's not
everywhere
gonna
around
hurt
here.
you.
No,
Yeah.
like I don't have to be a professional.
No.
Like, and I go to shows and I'm like, this is so fun.
Yeah.
But,
I love.
like,
We might go tonight to the Laugh Factory. I love going.
Laugh
I
Factory
love
and
going.
Hollywood Improv.
Improv, yeah.
I never been.
Um,
I've been.
and
to
Comedy Store.
I've been to Comedy Store and Laugh Factory. Those
I haven't
are
been to
my
Laugh
two.
Factory. I've been to Hollywood Improv and Comedy Store.
Mhm.
But Laugh Factory is supposed to be great.
Yeah.
Who's on tonight?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Really,
Yeah, it's
honestly.
always funny. Those
Bunch
are the
of, like,
best.
newer comedians.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's so fun.
And also, you have to remember, what we were talking about earlier, like being uncomfortable is such a good thing.
Oh my God, it pushes you. You
so like,
have to.
Something like that for you, I think would be great.
I just like end up if I'm uncomfortable, I'm gonna like make fun of myself.
Yeah.
And be like, well, I'm gonna shit.
It might even
myself.
work. Yeah, it might
I'm
even work any better.
Like,
yeah.
Like, and then I'm just gonna feel. That's the thing with me is it can't be rehearsed. I think that's what's hard is if it's rehearsed, I get too into it. Like
that's a reality show thing. So a lot of the time, I would say shit like you'd be sitting there and I'd be like say something spur of the moment, and they're like, "Oh wait, Joey, wait, hold on." You guys got to sit down and do it again. And it'll be like us, and I'll be like, I can't believe you were talking about your hair like that.
Wow.
And then, and then it's like
that was so
like that was such a miss. It was funny a minute ago. Now it's not fucking funny.
Yeah. But when it's forced, it's like cringe.
Yeah.
Come on.
Reality show makes you redo a lot of shit like
that's
that.
That's
sometimes.
what I figured is like, that's not all natural. Like
wait, do that again. You're like, all right. Like
it's not going to be the same, but yeah. No, that's
nice.
hard. But I do want to get back into like acting, and I want to take classes. That's huge. Like the Groundlings is like really. I mean, that's hard to get into. Yeah. But
that's an acting school.
So many people have gone through there.
Comedic, a lot of just like improv and Kristen Wiig. You guys know her from like Bridesmaids. She's actually from Rochester.
Oh.
Yeah. So
wait, which
Kristen
one?
Wiig, the main one. The funny, like
in the beginning
she
when
was on SNL. If you saw her, you would know exactly who she is.
She had like the bad boyfriend in the beginning. And
yes,
yeah. You're
kind
of her vibe.
I love her.
Do people tell you that or not?
I've heard it.
You guys are kind of. You should meet Jocelyn or something.
Well, she's literally from Brighton, New York, which is a town over from Pittsburgh.
Damn, and you're
in Rochester.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys are kind of the same vibe. She did good in that movie. That was sick.
Oh, she killed it. I haven't seen her in a lot lately, but she was in Groundlings. Tina Fey, I think Will Ferrell, like big names. So again, it's not easy. You got to get into it.
Yeah. How do you get in there?
You audition, and then you have to pay a certain amount. So it's like it's a process.
Yeah.
But I don't have to do Groundlings. It would be cool, but like I can just go to different. My friend Christian and I, who I was talking about, the TikToker, you'll know. I'll show you after.
We got to get him on.
Oh my God, he's fun. He's a good time.
We'll get him on. Is he in town?
Yeah, he lives here.
What's he doing
Saturday?
Would love
it.
Set it up.
I'll ask him.
We'll
he might be
filming
actually. He's doing we're in a movie. Like I'm a very little part, but like I'm like his girlfriend.
You're in there.
It's
you don't have to name
what
it.
Can you say?
But like
it'll be. I don't know when it's going to be edited. It's not like a big feature like film, but it's like a friend of mine who's like a producer.
It's a fucking movie.
It's a movie.
Doesn't matter.
It's gonna be big time, baby. Yeah. No, he's like the main lead. But what was I saying?
No, you've been working on a movie.
Let's go.
Acting. I want to get back into classes.
More content.
Yeah. So
you've been kind of slower on it.
I have, if you've noticed, and that I think
I've been waiting for the videos.
You're like, where's her power?
I literally don't even know. I've just been watching the old ones.
Well, I know. See, I've lost some followers because I haven't been consistent.
Fuck that shit.
I know. Fuck that shit. It happens, and you fluctuate. And again, like whatever, you can't care. But it's because I haven't been consistent. I used to be constant. I used to be constant, like all the time, numerous times in a day. Like that's all I was doing.
That's probably why you got a lot of traction.
I got exactly. That's when I like hit 1 million on TikTok, and then I was like killing it, and I was like, oh, it's mommy, and blah, blah, blah. Like I would get recognized as mommy. People like didn't know my name. They're like, you're mommy. You're the mom from TikTok, and I'm like, yeah.
You're like, meanwhile, you're like, no
like,
kids.
Yeah, I'm like,
we're like sitting here talking like, I'm not ready for kids. Everyone's mommy.
You're like, I thought you already had some. I'm like, right. Whatever you want to think. But yeah, I had to take a bit of a break.
A hiatus.
I had a hiatus. I like that.
Hiatus, governor.
A hiatus, governor.
Yeah.
I needed it though. I had a mental needed it. I couldn't. It's hard, and this is also back to the beginning of all of this when we were talking about comedians. They come off as super funny, but inside they've got a lot going on.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
that was me, and it's like it's hard to put on a show when you're feeling like, I'm not it right now. And I was forcing it, and then I'm like, I don't want to force it. This is
no. Yeah,
like, this isn't good. And my mom was the one who's like, Syd, just take a step back.
Really?
Glad you did though. A lot of people don't. They don't realize.
It's hard.
And they just keep going until they burn out.
And then I burn out. And I was on that. I was like, I felt like I was just like
close.
I was on the. I was like on about
too much Adderall and caffeine.
Yeah, literally though. That's literally because I was tired. I was drained. I was like, I'm not into it right now. So I'm trying to get back into it, get that like creativity flowing again, maybe do some shrooms and go to
There you go. You do shrooms?
Yeah.
I'm down with you. Some shrooms and like do a hike or some shit.
Love that. Love that. Yeah. No, I love that. But yeah, I'm trying to get back into the creativity and get that flow going because that is like it makes me happy.
Yeah.
But I think I'm also like veering more, staying with comedy, but this type of talk.
Yeah.
I want to start incorporating into my content.
Yeah.
So yeah, like comedy is my forte.
Start a podcast.
But that
Should.
I want to start. I got some stuff for Christmas. I got like very like not this like basic. My parents.
No,
were
I'm
like,
lucky I have Mitch.
"Do it."
I don't. You think this is Mitch? This is Mitch.
So you're all the tech and like.
I walked in and it was like
production.
this. I thought the Airbnb came like this.
You just show up. No, that's
Thank
a
you,
talent.
bitch.
That's a talent.
But
I did
seriously.
I did a podcast for a little bit with one of my friends, but then it just kind of went down.
That always
and it happens.
It's hard
you know?
to stay on it.
It
hard, yeah.
is.
That's
It
the
is
biggest
hard.
challenge.
That is hard. It is a big challenge. You got to stick with it. So now I'm like, okay, I got to figure out what I want to do. I love to talk. I love to connect with people. I love to laugh, but I also like to get real.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, all about connection too. And it's like,
That's it. That's what this is
it's
for.
and that's why I had to be in person.
I struggled kind of for a while, like figuring out because you get an audience from being on a big reality TV
Yes.
show like that. Then it's like, fuck, okay, these
Now
people know me
what?
from the show, but I'm not going back on that show.
No.
So it's like, do they like cooking? Do they like comedy? Do
Yeah.
they like when I'm
Who are
singing?
they?
Do they like
Who
mute?
are
Like,
you?
what am
Yeah.
I? Yeah, like, I don't even know
It's an
what I do.
identity.
Like, I don't even know what type of shit I do.
Mhm.
So struggled for a long time, bounced around a lot of shit. And
Yeah.
this is something that I've wanted to do.
And there you go, doing it.
Connected with Mitch, and now this is the type of content. Like, I love the clip. Like, I needed content to make on Instagram, and
Yes.
clips are it right now. Like, clips of this shit.
Yes.
We'll chop a clip up of you saying some shit right
I
now, and
love
it'll
it.
go up. You know what I
It's
mean?
So good. And this is like, and I love that. And like, that's where I think I lost a bit of passion.
Yeah.
You know, you want that passion. It's okay if it changes. Like
Yeah.
before I was like, oh, I'm loving this stuff and this mommy
Yeah.
thing and whatever. Like
Yeah.
that's what got my
Changes all the time.
following. It changes.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, if people unfollow you because they're not happy with what you're posting, okay, bye.
Someone else is gonna follow you.
Someone else is,
yeah.
and whoever's sticking with you are the real ones. Like you got to do what makes you happy.
And if you want people to know who you really are,
Yes.
like people didn't know who I
No.
really like. I was just
Same.
pictures, like fuckboy modeling,
Yeah.
like whatever, and
They
it
don't
was just
know
like
you.
an all right, like looking guy that like kind of
Yeah.
makes good content.
Yeah.
Sitting down and talking like this, like full hour conversations, it's like
So
you get to
different.
see how someone really is and like
So
how they
different.
interact with people in it.
I
you know,
wouldn't have
it
known
helps.
that you. I mean, I didn't think you were like some douche. I could tell you were cool, but like we've never met in person.
Yeah.
We've just been like vibing, talking so easily, like so nice. Like
It's nice when that
that's the Joey
happens.
you
I
wanna
like
have.
when people like meet me in person and
Yeah.
think that because
Oh my
it's
God.
easy to think like fuck,
Yeah.
but like I don't know. I
So
put it out
easy.
there. That's my job, kind of like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That's the lane I'm in. That's how
Yeah.
I get the likes and the views and
Yeah.
and I enjoy it. But I also like when I'm chilling with my friends. This is
like this. You're
I'm
being
chilling with
you.
my friends
Yeah.
like Mitch and Syd.
right?
the
We
real
love that.
Syd.
The real Syd.
So give us your at on Instagram.
Yes.
At the real.
It's real Sydney Smith because Syd Smith was taken.
Okay.
Whatever.
So and you like
Real
Syd. I asked you when you came in. You like
oh no,
Syd.
I love Syd.
Okay, okay.
People call me Syd, but it's Sydney,
real-
real Sydney Smith.
Oh, real
just
Sydney
real Sydney
Smith.
Smith on Instagram, but real Syd Smith
We'll
on TikTok.
write it. We'll write it.
Yeah,
in.
we'll
Right
we'll
down.
pop it up.
Yeah.
Anything
yeah.
else you want to promote? You got anything else coming up besides Stanley?
We're looking forward to it
Stand
all.
up.
We're looking forward to
Stand
seeing you on
up.
No,
TV.
besides Stanley.
Oh,
Is there anything
Stan-
else you
I
want to
think
promote?
Stand Up. I was like,
No.
Stanley, yeah,
Besides
sponsor me,
stand-up.
please.
And besides stand up. Maybe you do Stanley stand up.
I think keep an eye out because I am going to start posting more. So for those of you that already follow me and are like,
Where you been?
where are you?
locking,
You're
you're
ghosting
locking.
us. I did post something that just kind of gave an update not that long ago and was very vulnerable and real, which people were like, "Oh my god,
Which is
that's
different.
cool!" Like
You're
that's
not that
different.
character with the
People were like, "Oh my god, I
caffeine buzz."
didn't know that you were actually like this." So I think I'm gonna
You're
do
a nice
a little
milf.
bit more. Yeah, you're actually like a nice milf who doesn't have kids. But yeah, so I think like just I'm gonna start getting back, posting more comedy and skits. I have been filming with some like other creators and collabing and all that. But podcast, I really want
Any
to
more
get
music
into.
videos?
Music video. Did you see the
We
Sugar
watched it.
Mommy
We watched
music
it. We watched
video?
it.
It was sick.
That was so
I think I saw it a
fun.
while ago when you posted it, like the clips of that
Yeah,
stuff.
that
was
last
funny.
year. That was I think
What was it? Who's the guy who made the
It's like
song?
the
What's his
spring.
name?
Yeah, he sounds so familiar. What's his name?
You guys-
Crash Adams.
Yeah,
Crash
who is
Adams.
that?
Who
What's
is
he
that?
made? What else?
They're Canadian. It's the two. It's
Is it a
two of
DJ?
them.
Like
It's
what?
they're two. They're kind of like because I didn't know them.
Who's
Do they have
the
a
other
big
one?
song? I mean, look.
What's their big song that they?
The name, maybe it's just a super generic name, but that name sounds so
Crash
familiar
Adams.
when we first.
They're killing it right now because they
Who's the-
started in
who's the other
Toronto. Well, their name together is Crash Adams.
Oh, so Crash Adams is not.
It's
is
like
it's
their
a guy.
band. Well, one of them is Crash. The other
Yeah,
one
one
is
is Adams.
it's like a nickname.
Oh,
But
is
like
it?
Okay.
what's that one?
Maybe I
They're
don't
kind
know
of poppy. Like they compared themselves to like modern day Joe Bros, like the Jonas
Oh,
Brothers.
okay.
That kind of a vibe, but like they're so cool, so easy to chill with.
The milk.
Yeah, but like
Sugar
the
mommy.
sugar mommy thing, my mom was the one that found that on Backstage.
Yeah.
You know, Backstage where you're like getting the gigs.
Yeah.
She goes, Sid, I don't even care you're doing it.
Yeah.
She's like, I already put your
You
name.
killed it. I was loving it.
Thanks.
I was
I
loving
loved
it.
it. The hair and makeup. I was like,
The
can you make your
money
videos
and
all the
shit.
time? I know. I was like,
You're like, I want to be a businesswoman every day.
I know. I was like,
It was well
please.
done too. Like, there's nothing worse than going into that and like expecting, oh, this is gonna be amazing, and it just
And
gets
then they
shit. But it was
killed it.
actually really good. It
Yeah.
was very
Oh,
They
entertaining.
did a great job with
Actually,
that.
one more question before we completely get out of here. I wanted
Yeah.
to touch on this earlier.
Yeah.
You do have a day job. You do have a day job.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see yourself, without getting too detailed about your day job, do you see yourself, like, would your goal to be like
to leave.
entertainment and then that's the goal?
My job right now, I've been there for over 2 years since I moved here because I was like, I need money, like stable money.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, like I'm making money on the side as an influencer, but
Yeah.
not enough comfortably for me at least.
To live in LA for sure.
Yeah, to live in LA. It's really different than upstate New York.
Yep.
So I'm kind of I love the people that I work with, awesome people. But I don't see, like, I want to be able to quit,
Yeah.
and I'm waiting for that time until I know that I'm like, all right, I'm doing this is my gig, this is going to be a reoccurring thing, I don't need this anymore, you know? So for me, it's easy, and my job's easy enough for me to be able to do my other stuff on the side.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of it's temporary. I don't see myself
Well,
being
good.
corporate.
I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm
Yeah,
happy.
I'm gonna be full-time entertainment when it's time. So it'll come.
Bang.
Sydney Smith, guys.
Thank you for coming.
you
Seriously.
so
Thank you
much.
guys. This was so
much fun.
This was great.
Bang.
You're listening to Joey Joy Radio.